Welcome back, Rich Nation. My name is AJ, and today we're going to be continuing Mushoku Tensei episodes 18 and 19. We're almost done with season 1. It's just been getting better and better with watching the OVA and just really what's happened so far. Last episode with the reunion between father and son, and it's just so many heartfelt, crazy moments. I've been enjoying it. If you are new or if you have not subscribed yet, definitely subscribe to the channel. Check out the Patreon for the full reactions and exclusive shows, a bunch of stuff going on there. And let's go ahead and start. I don't know why, but when I see a path like this, I think of Frieren. Actually, I kind of know why. Because it's half the journey. What? Just random stranger on the road. I mean, you kind of challenged him, so just because you were the best person in your town. But you get a souvenir. Another one? Where are they coming from? That boat looked like it was about to go backwards there. I think he's too busy throwing up himself. Apparently somebody doesn't get seasick. I mean, I really think it got a little bit better after that. I mean, it couldn't have gotten any worse, or at least it felt like it. Hold it in. Yeah, if you ate anything, it would just come back up. Well, yeah, there's that issue. I feel like that's not even realistic in this show. Like, after seeing what happened to, like, his sister and his dad and everything, it's not realistic to think that, like, everything's gonna be fine anywhere you go. Somebody could be dead. Somebody could be, like, hurt or in bad spots or whatever. Now we just have to assume I don't want to assume the worst, but that kind of made me in the position to think that things could be bad. Glad, you know, he is. You missed ROXY, like, what, twice? At least? And speaking of ROXY. I mean, she's got pretty strong aura.
外見が変わらないだけでちゃんと生きてますからね。そうですね。そういう時期もありました。 昔は身の丈というものが分かっていなかったですからね。子供だと思われて舐められないようにとばかり考えていました。逆に今では水曜級魔術師
Oh
にな
yeah,
り
and
名前
you're
ばかりが一人歩きしていて
you've lived
無
life.
印で魔術が使えるだとかできないことばかりを期待されています。
Well, we know one person that can.
そういうノコパラは変わりませんね。見た目以外は。
なんだそりゃ、遠回しに老けたって言いてえのか。
そうとも言いますね。
言うようになったじゃねえ
か。相変わらず金に意地汚く弱者を狙って
Well,
稼い
we
でいる
saw
ん
what
ですか。
happened to him.
お前な、俺は冒険者の厳しさってやつを教えてやっているだけだ。自重してんだ。
痛い目、ノコパラがですか。
Yeah.
デッドエンドって3人組のパーティーにちょっとな。
Crazy, right? Like they were here.
いいじゃねえか、その話は。そんなことより、せっかくこんなところまで戻ってきたんだ。実家には顔出したのかよ。
I feel so bad for Roxy here because one, like we know Rudy and all them literally, have you seen your parents? He visited that area. So everywhere she's gonna run into, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, I saw a dead end. I saw Rudy. Oh yeah, Rudy was there. Oh yeah. Like the chances, the odds of him being so freaking close and her not like running into him is insane. I still think there's some shenanigans playing there with like his decision making during that time frame. I swear to God, with him getting advice from the man god and stuff, like she was right there. Like it's insane.
実家ですか。
Is she ever gonna run into him? Is it some destiny that she's just never supposed to run into him?
おいおい、マジかよ。もしかしてあの頃以来ずっと帰ってねえのか。
どうせ私が帰ったとしても誰も喜ばないでしょうし、あなたにそんなこと言われないといけないんですか。
俺にもな、お前たちと別れてしばらくしてから嫁ができてガキが生まれたんだ。3人だ。
So he lived a life.
何ですか、のろけですか。
電話が使えない。そんなことぐらいなんだってんだ。それよりもっと大切なことがあんだろう。
Okay, so she can't communicate
あなたの
like
よう
that.
なガサツでお金のことしか頭にない人に言われたくありません。
まあお前のことだから言っても聞かねえんだろうが、後悔する前に仲直りしておくことを勧めるね。たった一つの家族だぜ。
I beg to differ on that statement. Sometimes you create your families.
少し変わりましたね。人が少し増えたでしょうか。緑も少し増えた気がします。でも不気味なほど静かなのは昔のままですね。
Oh no.
やめてください。私にはあなたたちの言葉はわからない。
Oh, so she gets like she knows it's happening, but it just comes out in like
その目、
sound,
被害者を見る目。
like gibberish to her. I would imagine like her not being able to do like the main part of obviously they talk a different language and everything, right? But that being one part of it, not her not being able to actually communicate in something that everybody communicates on. It's like you can only, I don't know, speak in something, but you can't write in something. So you're only able to communicate one way. Or in this case, it would be like, oh, they're talking, but I can't understand them. It's like them talking a different language. So I would understand not being able to communicate in one way. It would be frustrating, especially when every single other person can do it.
排他的で閉じられた世界。私はこの村が嫌いだ。もう戻ってくることはないと思っていたのですが。
Oh, her past.
再び立ち上がる力を与え、ヒーリング。
I guess they were trying to communicate there too. God, yeah, it's like that would get annoying, and dealing with that your entire life. You're like, they're trying to communicate. Wait, so what? Do they just assume that you can, or that so they just do that? Because we saw them talk, or at least be able to speak to Rudy and all them. And if I'm missing something, let me know in the comments. I find it odd that they're not, but maybe like it's because they just assume if you're, one of them or whatever, you never communicate in that. Maybe just this village in general. That's just the way they communicate all the time. But like I said, we saw them talk a different way, just normal, verbal.
Tadaima.
ROXY!
Yeah, see.
お久しぶりです。
おかえりなさい、ロキシー。元気だった？
今までどうしてた？一人で来たのか？
いえ、その。
お前の噂は旅人から耳にしていたんだ。話を聞かせてくれないか？
まあ、いろいろと。
Oh man, it really is truly awkward.
さあ、でも本当に無事でよかった。
And then they're communicating that way. They were talking for her, but then, yeah. Gotta feel like left out and,
立つことにします。
can't even imagine.
もう行ってしまうのか？
はい。
せめて一晩くらい。
いえ、急ぐ旅の中、少し寄っただけなので。
次はいつ帰ってくる？
さあ、わかりません。
I can see why she
帰
left.
ってこないかもしれません。
20年に一度くらいは帰ってきて。
Just every 20 years. That's fine.
50年以内には戻ってくるかもしれません。
Okay, now that's feeling more like Freerin. 50 years, it's fine.
はい。
Just a fun 50-year journey.
ごめんなさい。いつかまた会えたら、その時は泣かないって決めてた。ごめんなさいね。
お母さん。
Oh, something she was given
と、
as a kid.
あった。これはお馬さん。
お馬さ
これは毛皮。よ
ん。毛皮。
くできたわね、ロキシー。えらいえらい。
何してるの？
Oh, man. It reminds me of like somebody taking like old school photos with flash there. Yeah.
私悪い子なの。だから誰もお話ししてくれないの。
ごめんね。お母さんのせいで、ロキシーは悪い子じゃないわ。
I wonder why that happened to her. Like, why is she the only one that can't do it?
私の知る両親はいつも辛そうだった。
Was there anyone else from that village that can't?
それが私のせいなんだということは気づいていた。念話が話せない私は異端者なのだ。だから私は家を飛び出した。私がいなくなればこの人たちは喜ぶに違いない。そう思った。
But in reality, I mean, they missed you. Where are these tears coming from? That's exactly my reaction. That's like my reaction when I suddenly somehow cry, which is like, you'll get lucky if you get one. Once in a blue moon, it's really hard to get me to cry. And then I'm like, if you want to see it, check the Violet Evergarden last movie. I cry at the end, but like spoiler. But like it's so rare that like I'm when I start doing it, I'm like, wait, what is this? What's happening? What is this tear?
突然出て行ってごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。私は今初めて分かった。大切なことは言葉ではなかったのだと。
I'm glad that she got to have that type of reunion. Though I really want one with her and Rudy. Really bad. I feel like it's been teased this entire back half of the season. Oh, what? Wait. Oh, I thought for 1 second she had gotten like it reminded me of the Beast Village or whatever. I was like, how did she get captured? Also, I have a very hard time. I have to remember that's her mom and dad and not her sister and her little sister and brother. Because I swear to God, that's what I think.
ごめんなさい。私を慕ってくれている行方不明の。
Does anybody else like have to remind themselves of that?
そうか。ああ、そういえば2年ほど前、ロキシーの弟子だっていうやつがこの村に来たぞ。
There you go.
確か名前は
ルーデウス君よ。
そうそう、ルーデウスだ。
はい。
Oh my God.
あの子たちもう家までたどり着けたのかしらね。
あの子たちって他にも誰かいたんですか？スペルド族。
ロキシーが村を出て行った少し後に交流が始まってな。ずっと怖い奴らだと思っていたが、これが意外に。ロキシー？
I mean, that's fair. That's a fair response. Like, what are the odds?
また近いうちに帰ってきます。
あ。
次はルーデウス君と来てくれてもいいのよ。
Is that possible?
許さん。俺は許さんからな。
ということは噂に聞いていたデッドエンドを語る3人組の正体はルーデウスたちと考えるのが自然でしょうね。なるほど、これでようやく腑に落ちました。デッドエンドの名を語るなんてそんな恐れ知らずな人がいるわけがないと思いましたが、ルーデウスならあるいはスペルド族を仲間にしてしまうなんてどこまですごい人になってしまうのでしょうか。ただいま。
あら、ロキシー、帰ってきたんです。
Of course. When aren't you doing this? I think it never ends.
ロキシー？ハイスクールブレイク。人目につかないところでやってください。
I think that's what she likes. Yeah. Yeah, that's what she's into.
これからどうするんじゃ。
また大陸の北西部を目指しましょう。ゼニスさん、リーリャさん。
Okay, well, she's not meeting up with Rudy anytime soon then.
構いません。ルーデウスは無事だと分かりましたから。いつかまたどこかで会えるはずです。また大陸の街はまだまだあるんです。今まで通り一つずつ回っていきましょう。
What if he's not there at all? Well, I hope that they eventually run into each other, but I feel like it's not gonna be anytime soon. It just doesn't, like, it felt like it's just not meant to be right now. I love seeing her. I think the added benefit is seeing like a split, like going back to her every once in a while would be kind of cool. I like that we've done it a couple times now. So there's the benefit, because I think she's pretty good on her own as well. So yeah, can't really complain there, but I feel bad. Oh, back to his dream or whatever the hell this is.
クソがいきなりクソなんて相変わらずだね君は。
Oh boy.
忘れてたのに。1年ぶりの再会なのに冷たいじゃないか。僕のおかげで魔眼も手に入ったっていうのに。
Yeah, and you probably would have been with Roxy.
君の冒険は見ていて飽きないよ。
It's like you're setting him up for like the worst decisions or something. Maybe not the worst. I mean, it's pretty bad, but he does get like some benefits like from everything he's done, but he's also like ran into the like, I don't know, I guess dealt with the most like emotional type things and put him in like life or death situations. But he did mature. Like, I will give him like him being able to make up with his dad there and have like that moment was good. So I'll give him 1 there, but I do feel like, I don't know. I feel like he's not really like bringing him to a good path. I don't know. It's suspicious. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, it's. I don't think that's a good idea just to blindly follow.
君の家族はこことは違う世界にいるんじゃないのかい？
茶化すなよ。ゼニス、リーリャ、アイシャの3人だ。あとできればシルフィーとギレーヌ、フィリップとサウロスの居場所も知りたい。
じゃあ一つ約束してほしいんだ。
何をだよ。
もし次の助言で君が家族と再会することができたら、今度は僕のことを信じてほしいんだ。
But yeah, then you could like set him up for failure after that. Not that you haven't been doing that already.
喧嘩腰っていうのも疲れるじゃないか。
別に喧嘩腰じゃなくったって疲れるんだよ。忘れたい昔の姿を引きずり出されて陰鬱な気分にさせられるせいでな。
I will say, I think it does remind him where he came from and like what being in the. I think there's good and bad things here. I don't think like the man god's intentions are probably amazing, but I do feel like Rudius does get things out of one, going to this place, getting this reminder of what he used to be. We do see him mature and use experiences from his former life to benefit and help his, his current life. So I do think there is good things from it. I don't know. I still worry.
今回の助言がうまいこと言ったなら考えてもいい。
信用してくれるかい？では今回の助言を授けましょう。ルーデウスよ、よくお聞きなさい。
Now we're seeing visions?
アイシャ・グレイラット。あなたはこの場面に出くわすことになります。
You're actually
決して名前を名乗ってはいけません。偽名を名乗り、彼女に事情を聞きなさい。そして、シロン王宮に
That is really specific.
待った、なんで知り合い？
さすればリーリャ、アイシャの2人をシロン王宮から救い出すことができるでしょう。
リーリャも
That is so cryptic, but you also
魔眼を手に入れさせたのはあれを見せるためだったのか。
Wait, so is that why he could see it now? Because I didn't even think about that. Okay, so his demon eye, my first thought was like when it was talked about and what it was called, I thought it would be some type of like being able to see like in the past or like something, but it ended up just being very, to help with very quick encounters and being able to judge what was going to happen quickly. But I guess the demon eye somehow made him be able to see the future there a little bit, because before when he was telling him stuff, one, he wasn't specific, and two, he was never able to see it visually like that. There must be more quirks to that demon eye. And it also makes sense why he would try to get him to get the demon eye in the first place. This place seems a little bit more, I don't want to say depressing, but it's just a little muggy, a little depressing looking to me. But also they just all got off a ship, and most of them are probably seasick, so it's okay to look like that. What's that? I thought that was like rice on the cob? That's what it looked like for a second. Rice on a cob. The fuck am I saying?
ここがシーロー王国の首都なのね。
人神が手紙を出せと言った知り合い。そう、おそらくそれはロキシーのことだ。そうすることでリーリャたちを救えるとも。
Right to
しかし
Roxy.
本当にリーリャたちがいるのならば、とっくにロキシーが見つけているはずなのだが。
ここにはルーデウスの師匠がいるのよね。
But also Roxy
どうしたの？
was literally in the demon continent.
実はある筋からの情報なのですが、この国のどこかに僕の家族が囚われているそうなのです。
イリシオにいたじゃない、生意気そうなのが。
もう一人いるんですよ。なのでできればお二人にも情報収集を手伝ってもらえるとありがたいのですが。
家族のことならば仕方ないわね。
ありがとうございます。
とりあえず情報の出所を聞かれなくてよかった。
But you have to
あの白いのが
not tell her
何を
your
考えている
name
の
and
かわ
everything.
からない
That's the
以上
weird part.
うかつにあいつのことを話すのはやめておいた方がいい気がするしな。
この手紙を王宮へよろしくお願いします。
これでよし。突然の手紙だ。
Okay, so the royal palace was the palace that Roxy was working at, right? So if this is the same place, I probably didn't remember the name itself, but like there's that like that kid or whatever that's I'm guessing like a prince or something, somebody of royalty that she was like training or whatever, but he was just kind of being pervy. I think Rudius might get along with him, possibly, but also he might hate him because he might remind him of himself in some way. But I'm guessing he's going to run into him if that's the same area. And Roxy, he's assuming Roxy's there, but Roxy's not going to be there. So, yeah, I wonder how this is going to go.
と信用するのであれば、この広い町の中から夢で見させられた場所を探せばいいのだろう。ああ、骨が折れそうだ。しかし、なんでアイシャは兵士に捕まっていたんだ？人神の口ぶりだと。
Yeah, that was her.
抑留されているっぽかったけど。
And if she recognized and saw the letter and recognized him or whatever, then like not giving like his sister the name, unless they didn't communicate it or something, or like why would him giving a different name be necessary?
ルイジェルトの尾行能力なら俺が気づけるわけがない。エリスでもない。エリスならわざわざつけ回さず無言でついてくるだろうしな。では誰かこの国において俺に恨みを持つ者？なほな、ここにはさっき来たばかりだ。
Oh, this is it? Right here?
ごめんよ。でも仕事だから。違うんだ。誤解しないでくれ。
いえ、誤解も何も。
聞いてくれ、坊主。おじさんたちはこれでも王宮の兵士なんだ。彼女が迷子になってたから迎えに来ただけなんだ。
That seems suspicious. Yeah. That's his letter, right?
この手紙を奪う必要はあるんですか？
いろいろあるんだよ、大人には。
Okay, so this is what he saw or whatever, but here's one thing that's a little... I will say, the way they're acting, we've seen a lot of creeps in this show. It does seem a little suspicious in the other way around, only because, like, you guys can let me know what you think. It feels like they might actually be in the right here, or without any details. It really does look like they were doing their job or something, but it's maybe we're just so used to how creepy people end up being in this show. They make it so goddamn obvious. I'm guessing they work in there. They work in the castle or whatever. They're like maids in the castle.
無駄な抵抗はやめてその子を渡せ。悪いようにはしない。
しっかり捕まっていてくださいね。
Holy shit. Instant trampoline. And she doesn't know, you know, obviously she wouldn't know that's her brother, so I guess she just, or he's just gonna not tell her.
危ないところを助けていただき本当にありがとうございました。
確か今6歳だったっけか。
我が名はシャドウムーンナイト。
You did not!
かっこいいですね。
Shadow Moon
助けてもらった上、一つズーズー
Night! What game are we playing?
ですが大丈夫でしょうか。
おお。
お母さんがお城に捕まっていることを
In
お父さんに伝
prison.
えるために手紙を出したいんです。
なるほど、その手紙だったのか。
Oh,
どの
okay.
選び方といい、随分賢く育ったじゃないか。
ですがそういうのはお金が必要ってお母さんに教わら。
Okay, but what I saw earlier, maybe I'll have to go back to that, but I didn't think it was her. I thought it was her mom, freaking with the letter or whatever. Like right after Rudy left, I thought she recognized Rudy and had the letter in her hand or whatever, pissed off. So there might be something here that we don't know. Maybe the grudge comes from her. Maybe she's got some. I mean, we saw how the dad was initially. So maybe Rudy's gonna show up with every family member, and there's gonna be some miscommunication or something that's you know, not been said or whatever, right? That's why I said I feel like finding everybody is only gonna be part of the battle.
なんとかしてくれるって教えてくれました。
他に頼れそうな人はいないんですか？
いません。
例えばお母さんの知り合いの青い髪のお姉さんとか、そう、どこかにいるはずのお兄さんとか。
兄はいますけど頼りになりません。
なんでや。
Oh,
さっきアンさんのこと華麗に助けたやないか。
中身を見るなというのでなぜかと聞いたんです。なんでも兄の大切なものが入っているからなのだそうです。
Yeah, we know what that is.
お母さんがいない時に
Never open that.
すると中に
Never open that. You.
さあ。
Oh God. Oh God.
パンツです。兄は4、5歳という年齢で女性のパンツを5種大事にしていたそうです。
Okay, so maybe the grudge is
サイ
with.
ズ的には結構小さい。私の計算によると14歳ぐらいのこのパンツです。
計算ってちょっとこの子賢すぎやし
Is
ませ
she
ん
a
か。
genius?
まだ6歳ですよね。
でも誤解という可能性もありますよね。
I feel like she's gonna be very smart when she gets
お母さんに
older.
裏を取りました。隠しているようですが間違いありません。兄は孫うことなき変態です。
You. That's the most true statement that's been said on this show.
そうか、お兄さんは変態か。そりゃ大変だね。
まさかこんな。くそ。なるほど、こういうことか。だから人神は名前を名乗るなと言ったのか。
Cause yeah,
理解できたよ。
yeah.
そうい
Cause she.
ナイトさん、本
It
当に
wouldn't have
名前
gone
を覚
so
えていますか？
easy if she had figured it out, or if he had said his
内
name.
緒です。巷ではデッドエンドの飼い主と呼ばれていますがね。
へえ、飼い主さんですか。訳ありなんですね。かっこいいです。
では僕が君のお母さんを助け出してきましょう。
突然どうして？
いいんです。状況は把握しましたから。
Yeah, she is
任せ
smart.
てください。飼い
It's like,
主の
what
本気を
is your
見せましょう。
reasoning to help me here?
おー
Like most little kids would be like, "Yay, thank you," but she actually thought about it for a second.
僕のことは飼い主と呼んでください。
なんでそんなことするのよ。
どうやら兄に対して間違った知識を教え込まれていたので、かっこいいと
Not
ころを見せて
misguided.
その認識を正そうかと。
私はそのままでもかっこいいと思うけど。どうして褒めるとそういうニチャっとした顔するのよ。でも、
Anyway.
そういうことなら今から襲撃ね。
城攻めは久しぶりだな。
待って。
おはようございます。
Who is that?
はーい。ルーデウス殿でございますか？
はい。
自分はシーローン第七王子親衛隊所属ジンジャーヨークと申します。
Okay, so she's part of the guard of that prince, which I'm assuming that's the person. That's got to be the person that Roxy was like tutoring.
失礼、ロキシー殿がお呼びです。
What? Okay, it's not actually Roxy, so who is it? The prince, or
随分と念入りね。
I guess it could only be one other person.
何かあったら飛んで逃げてきますので、アイシャのこと頼みます。
わかったわ。いってらっしゃい、ルーデウス。
God damn.
ロキシーのいるお城。
It is pretty fancy.
ルーデウス殿は若くして無影将で魔術を操る天才だと聞き及んでいます。
師匠がそんなことを？
ロキシー殿はよく自慢しておられました。本当なら私が教えられるような存在ではなかったと。
それは言い過ぎです。
Okay, so here's my thought. Now, if it's the prince that did this, if Roxy, all she did was talk like high, like probably to people here too, maybe they would hold a grudge against Rudy. If all she did was talk up people or talk up him and say good things, but say how good he is, maybe they're bringing him to test him, or like there's definitely some suspicious thing about this. Obviously, we know it's not Roxy. So, yeah, I'm trying to think of what else it could be. Yeah, it's definitely not good. This feels like an act. And part of the prince's guard, maybe the prince holds a grudge. Because she probably, he was super perverted with, you know, like wanting her and shit, so maybe he'd be jealous of Rudy or something.
まあいいか。とにかく今はロキシーだ。なんてったって7年ぶりの再会。話したいことが山ほどある。
ルーデウス殿、いえ、何でもございません。
Maybe she was gonna warn him.
ルーデウス殿をお連れしました。
It's the yeah, it's definitely okay. So it was my first thought. Is this to show him himself in this? I gotta pause again because I feel like every time he's been making these decisions and the man god has been telling him stuff or whatever, it feels like he learns some, like there's bad things that happen, but he does also like run into these like issues he didn't deal with in the past or like in his former life and stuff. Is this more like looking at your former self in the face type of thing? Because this guy, I said it. It was like, this is literally freaking Rudy. Like if they just took him and put him straight up there and just gave him a cushy thing or whatever, it feels like it would just be Rudy. So I'm wondering if that's the reason why. Whoa. Okay, so that's. Oh God. No way I could have predicted this, but the way it's, I feel like I got a few things right. Is that something that Roxy had already cast or something? Or is there somebody else there that can cast things like that? That's... Oh. So he never wanted Roxy to leave. I mean, he was learning magic, so... Because...
どうやらこんな趣味の悪いやつとの寝取られ展開とかじゃない。
I never thought they'd use the word cuck in this fucking anime. But why shouldn't I be surprised? Holy shit. See, this is... You're like staring at your old self in the face. Except, I mean, that's kind of extreme. He might be worse at he might be worse than Rudius at his worst.
どうやってロキシーは僕が囚われていることを知り得るのでしょうか
I don't think he had a foolproof plan.
いやそれは
Because he literally got told how to get there. The man god walked him into this.
楽しみだ楽しみだロキシー早く来ないかな
来るわけねえだろ
Because if he says, like, if he said that who he was, this wouldn't have turned out this way at all. She probably would have just left and, like, or maybe he wouldn't even have been in that pathway in the first place or even in that area to run into her right there. So, like, just like before when the man god said something, like, and put him in that scenario, it's the same thing. There's no way he would have gotten in this spot without that advice. It's like you're on a forced quest line. That's what it feels like. Like mandatory quests.
人神のビジョン通り愛者に会った偽名も使ったしロキシーに手紙も送った今のところは指示通りにやれてるおいおいもしかして俺
Well, you said you wanted to think about this. You said you wanted to find your family, like find your family, get to and save your family. And I guess this would be the only way because we saw she's there. So I guess this would be the only way to even have an opportunity to do that. But it's still the worst pathway. I really I want to know what the hell, like, what would have happened if he didn't freaking get that? Like, I feel like just don't take this advice, but maybe this is the best advice to be able to, I mean, he got stuff from the, I don't know. It makes me overthink it for sure. Because it feels like, yeah, you're here now, but this is very bad. There's got to be a reasoning for it, though, for sure. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm going to watch the next 2 episodes right after this. So make sure you subscribe. Check out the Patreon for the full reactions. Watch ahead, exclusive shows. That link will be down below. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.